Hi, I'm Sarah Skuster, and I play the oboe. I've been the principal oboist of the San Diego Symphony for the past 11 seasons, and I've been playing the oboe for 27 years. I grew up listening to classical music because my parents love it, and my dad is an amateur pianist and organist. I started playing in 4th grade beginning band on the flute, but I quickly switched to oboe after a few months, and at that time I began taking private lessons on the oboe, which was very important because it's a very difficult instrument to start out on. I was attracted to the sound of the oboe in particular and to the double reeds in general. I liked that it seemed very unique, and it turned out that I was the only oboist and the only double reed player in my school bands from elementary school to high school. The oboe is a member of the woodwind family. All of the woodwinds use air to make sound, and many of those instruments, including the oboe, the clarinet, and the bassoon, are made of wood. The only exceptions to that rule are the saxophone and the flute. All woodwind instruments have keys, like these, that we open and close to change the pitches. The oboe is part of a unique subgroup of the woodwinds called the double reeds. That includes the oboe and the bassoon. We're called double reed instruments because we literally play on a reed that is 2 reeds tied very tightly together, and they vibrate against each other. Learning to make reeds takes many years and many hours of frustration. The oboe is made of a very dense, hard wood called grenadilla wood that often comes from Mozambique. When we take apart the oboe, we find it's made of 4 different parts. We have the reed here, and then next we have the top joint. After that, we have the middle joint, and then finally the bell. When we play the reed without the oboe, it sounds like this. The reed is the most important part of the oboe because it's what makes the sound, and the oboe amplifies that sound. If we don't have a good reed, we don't amplify a good sound. When we're putting the instrument back together, we want to start from biggest to smallest piece. So we're going to start with the bell, and we're going to put it on the bottom of the middle joint, like so, twisting it on very carefully and lining up the bridge keys. After that, we will put on the top joint to the middle joint, again, very carefully twisting and lining up the bridge keys here. We do that because we want to make sure all the keys work from the top to the bottom of the instrument. When you're holding the oboe, you want to put your thumb on the back thumb rest here, curve your fingers, put them on the right keys, and then the same with your left hand. Curve your fingers, let your thumb operate the back octave keys here. Now, once we put on the reed, like so, it's time to do some playing. You just heard the second movement, the Allegro, of Telemann's Fantasy No. 9 in E major. Telemann was a Baroque composer, a contemporary of J.S. Bach, and very prolific and popular in his time. He wrote 12 of these fantasies for flute, but many other instruments play them, including the oboe.